What is good, Puka Traders? My name is Wilson, and we are doing a Magic Online cube draft. This cube is not a powered cube. It is the Legacy cube, but it's really fun. There's a lot of really cool cards in here. Not as many broken things as you can do with a power cube, but you can still do some pretty busted things. The first thing that I like to do with the cube on Magic Online is you can click in any of this empty area, right click, and you can sort. You can sort it by converted mana cost. Its default setting is rarity. I like to sort it by color, so I know where my blue cards are, and I and I know where I can take my treachery. Treachery, while it's not the best card in a power cube, in an unpower cube, treachery is probably cracking the top 5 as far as best cards in the cube. So we're gonna take that one and try and go pretty deep with the treachery. All right, this pack has a couple of cool things in it. There's a Chandra, new Chandra, Kid Chandra. Kid Chandra is pretty good. Jace, Architect of Thought, is one card I'm looking at. Frost Titan is another card I'm looking at. Also Inferno Titan. Between Inferno Titan and Frost Titan, I'd rather take the Inferno Titan. There's also Sakura, Tribe Elder, Stomping Grounds, Darkar Wastes, Armageddon. I'm going to take Jace here. I mean, Planeswalkers are great. There's better 4-mana Jace Planeswalkers out there in the world, but Jace overall is a very good card. Architect of Thought. You can have little mini factor fictions. You can hold your opponents off for a while, or you can just ultimate it and get a card out of their deck. And usually, since your opponents are also playing cube cards, at least you hope that they're playing cube cards. Otherwise, something went terribly wrong. Jace will get one of their cards out of their deck. So we're going to take Jace here and be pretty happy with it. All right. Well, there is Kiki Jiki just chilling here. And, I think looking at the rest of this pack, there are actual no blue cards. There's like Duplicant and Chrome Mox that we could take. Rashad Port is interesting. But I think I'm going to just take Kiki Jiki on the off chance that we get the combo. Kiki Jiki is also pretty great with just, random creatures that are out there. Like Kiki Jiki and Drolf's Messenger is a combo. Kiki Jiki Duplicant is a combo. Kiki Jiki, not so much Courser of Crufix, but like you can do some cool things with it. So we're going to take Kiki Jiki here and try and do a little combo action. Little combo Kiki Jiki action. Here, there is a Teferi. There is a Hallowed Fountain, which is quite good. There's also another card in this pack that I feel like needs to be mentioned, and that's Koth of the Hammer. Koth is, we're already speculating with red, and Koth can actually do some pretty wild things, like he can untap a mountain, turn it into a 4/4. That it's still land until end of turn. You can add tons of mana, or you can just have a emblem that will kill your opponent. So Koth is actually, if you pick up things like Taiga, Koth can actually be mana fixing. Koth is pretty cool, and I think that we're gonna take Koth here. I really like Koth. All right, here there's a Sensei's Divining Top. There's a Coalition Relic. Also things like Augur Bolus and Careful Study. It's not exactly where we want to be. I think our choice here is between Top and Relic. And Relic does help us fix our mana and also get us to 5, which is, what Relic is good for. Actually, Relic is good for getting you to 6. But we don't have any 6-drops. And I think that, we have double blue, double red. Top is also just a wonderful card. I think I'm going to take Top. It also gives us information if we want to Jace or not. It helps us get up to our Kiki Jiki combo faster. I think we'll just take Top. We'll take Top and actually be pretty happy with it. All right, here there's some cards. There is a Demonic Pact. Black cards here. Guiltleaf Winnower. I'm happy to see that in the cube. There's also things like Storm-type Leviathan, Ether Vial. I think the card that I want to take here is actually Phyrexian Revoker. Revoker is great because you can just name things like Kiki-Jiki. You can name things like Jace, Architect of Thought. Heck, you can name fetch lands. Like, if you play this and your opponent has a fetch land, and they don't crack it with this on the stack, as soon as it resolves, you can just like name Scalding Tarn, and all of a sudden it's like a mini Stone Rain. So I like it. This pack has Through the Breach and Plateau are the cards that I'm looking at. Through the Breach can be really interesting if we pick up something like an Emrakul. Plateau is really good because it's kind of that mana fixing that we were talking about, and white cards could be a good spec. I will speculate though on this Through the Breach, and you'll see me doing that throughout Cube. Is continually speculating on cards, like speculating on this Kiki-Jiki, speculating on Through the Breach, continuously speculating on cards to see if we can get the combo. Here's an Imperial Recruiter. Imperial Recruiter is great because it can search out Kiki-Jiki. It can also search out Pestermite. It can also search out Deceiver Exarch. Now, there is a Restoration Angel, and Restoration Angel plus Kiki-Jiki is the combo. Is the actual combo right there. So we could just pick up the combo. Also, Restoration Angel is just very good. But I think that I want the Imperial Recruiter and just pass up on one of the pieces to the combo and see if we can pick up Deceiver Exarch or Pestermite later on in pack 2 or 3. Here, there's not a whole lot that I'm super interested in. I think I'm going to take a Slagstorm. Slagstorm can be pretty interesting, and it helps keep those weenie decks in check. Siege Gang Commander plus Kiki-Jiki is an actual thing. Do we just take that? No, we already have a bunch of 5-drops, so I think we'll just take Slagstorm. Okay, so there's Lightning Helix and Chandra. Chandra actually could be kind of interesting. We can't Kiki-Jiki Chandra, but we can Imperial Recruiter search for Chandra. I think I'm going to take Chandra here. I don't know if Chandra is going to make our main deck, but Chandra is certainly an interesting card. Okay, well, I'll take this Duplicant now. Duplicant plus Kiki-Jiki actually works, and Duplicant can be searched out with Imperial Recruiter. So can Gorehouse Chainwalker, but none of these cards are really what I'm looking for. Maybe we'll just take this Gorehouse Chainwalker. Not thrilled with it. Alright, so there's Fire Fist Striker. There's also an Augur of Bolas. I'm going to take this Augur of Bolas. It's a little more interesting than the Fire Fist Striker. Especially with Kiki-Jiki combos and things like that. And then follow that up with Lightning Mauler, which can actually be kind of cool if we get Splinter Twin. Because if you play Pestermite and then play Splinter Twin on it, you can't activate it. So maybe giving it haste is where we want to be. And then Augur of Bolas searches out or looks at the top 3 cards, and you can pick an instant or sorcery out of there and put it in your hand. So I don't know. That might be interesting with Kiki-Jiki, but we don't really have a whole lot going on with that right now. So let's see. What do we have here? We have Sower of Temptation, Into the Royal, Negate. Sower of Temptation plus Kiki-Jiki is kind of interesting. Like, steal a guy, play this, steal a guy, play Kiki-Jiki, steal another guy. That's interesting. It's certainly interesting. There's also things like Misty Rainforest, which is great with top. Misty Rainforest, which is great with top. There is... maybe Sacred Foundry. I think it's between Sower and Misty Rainforest, and I think I'm going to take the Misty Rainforest. If we pick up something like a Volcanic Island, or even like a Taiga, we can search it out, and then Misty Rainforest can get blue, green, red. So I think I'm going to take Misty Rainforest here. Be pretty happy with it. What do we have here? Yeah, not the greatest of packs. I think we're going to end up taking... I mean, Wake Thrasher can kind of win a game on its own. But I think I'm going to take a Forbid here. It doesn't help out our mana a whole lot. But having a Forbid is actually pretty cool. And everything else here is not exactly what I'm looking for. So I'll take a Forbid. And there we go. We did it. There's Pestermite. So we have the combo now, and we have Imperial Recruiter to help out with the combo. Pretty great. There's also Cunning Spark Mage. Fire Ice would be really cool to see that wheel. Maybe even like... let's hope that Fire Ice wheels. Let's just go from there. Let's hope that Fire Ice wheels. All right, here we have a Steam Vents. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's the best card that we could have hoped for. You know, I was actually just looking at my cards, and Kiki Jiki plus Koth, get this. So we tap, let's say, Steam Vents. Tap Steam Vents for blue. Use Koth, turn it into a creature. Now it's a 4/4 creature. We can tap it for another blue. Kiki Jiki can then make a copy of Steam Vents and tap it for another blue. So if we want, we can use Kiki Jiki not only as mana fixing, but as ramp. Gosh, Kiki Jiki is so good. So extra good. We'll take Steam Vents, though. I was also looking at Augur of Bolas. Now that we have things like Forbid and Through the Breach, it might be interesting to run an Augur of Bolas. But I would feel like I would need like 2 to 4 more instants and sorceries to really know that I can run Augur of Bolas, knowing that I'll be able to hit a card off of it. Here, I think it's a pretty easy Electrolyze. Electrolyze is 2 damage divided however you would like, and then you get to draw a card. So we'll take that. Isochron Scepter is interesting with things like, well, cards that aren't in our pool. But it is interesting with things like if you could put like a Doomblade onto it. That's pretty sweet. The rest of this pack is okay. I mean, Perforos plus Kiki Jiki plus Pestermite is like you don't even have to swing in. You just keep making Pestermite tokens and they keep just dealing 2 damage. But we'll take Electrolyze and be pretty happy with it. What is this? Doomed Necromancer. Sacrifice Doomed Necromancer. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Whoa. Whoa! Okay, so think about this. So you have an Eldrazi that you put into the graveyard. With their shuffle trigger on the stack, you can use the Doomed Necromancer to put the Eldrazi back into play. That's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. There's Stormbreath Dragon, Searing Spear, Pact of Negation. I think I'm going to take Pact of Negation. So that way we can Kiki Jiki Pestermite in 1 turn and also have a 0 mana counterspell to back it up. So Pact of Negation, get in there. All right, another piece of the Kiki Jiki puzzle is Zealous Conscripts. Zealous Conscripts is a thing that you can combo off with Kiki Jiki. You make a copy of Zealous Conscripts with Kiki Jiki. Zealous Conscripts comes into play. It says, enters the battlefield, gain control of target permanent until end of turn, untap that permanent, it gains haste. So you can actually gain control and untap one of your own permanents. So Zealous Conscripts comes into play, untaps Kiki Jiki, you use Kiki Jiki, make a Zealous Conscripts token, the token comes into play, untaps Kiki Jiki, lather, rinse, repeat. Always repeat. All right, another card that is going to help out getting to the combo is Compulsive Research. Pretty good draw spell. Stagger Shock would be an interesting card. So would Precursor Golem. We have a bunch of 5s already. But I'm going to take this Compulsive Research. I don't know why Erebos' Titaness in this cube. I tried playing with it already, and it's not great. At this point, if it's triple black, you might as well just play 4 black and play the Phyrexian Obliterator. But we'll take Compulsive Research. All right, now we can take either Into the Royal, Negate. Negate would be a pretty sweet one to have. Into the Royal would be a pretty sweet one to have. I think I'm going to take Everflowing Chalice. Interesting. I didn't even think about Everflowing Chalice. I think it's actually Everflowing Chalice. Everflowing Chalice is pretty good, and we need some lower drops here. So So I think we'll take the Everflowing Chalice. So let's see. There's a Winter Orb. There's Olivia, Jackal Pup, Wall of Blossoms. I think that we can take this Winter Orb. I don't want to play against it. And I don't know. There might be some sort of scenario where we board it in. Take this Cunning Spark Mage. Maybe we get that Basilisk Collar back. There's a Goblin Guide. And nothing else. So we'll take Goblin Guide. I don't think we'll end up playing Goblin Guide. Well, there's Perforos. We could put Pact of Negation onto the Icecrown Scepter. That's pretty sweet. Let's take Perforos. And this Doom Necromancer thing, because I certainly don't want to play against reanimated Eldrazi. That seems unreasonable. It seems it seems like something I don't want to play against. So let's not do that. All right, what do we have here? Boy, we got some choices. There is Metamorph, which is very good. It's Time Warp, which I really appreciate them using the old Time Warp picture from Tempest. Grim Lavamancer, Forked Bolt. Or some fetch lands. These are definitely some choices. I think I'm going to take... Boy. Yeah, this is tough. I think I'm going to take the Metamorph. Metamorph is just such a powerful card that it's really hard to pass this one up. I don't think anyone would be faulted taking a fetch land here, but I think that Metamorph is going to be our pick. All right, well, there's my favorite card in Cube, Greater Gargadon. I love Greater Gargadon. There's also a Sundering Titan. This is not a Greater Gargadon deck, sadly. It may be, though, with Zealous Conscripts and Treachery. And we didn't pick up that Sower of Temptation, but that's okay. So, I don't know, maybe Gargadon comes back. There's a Sundering Titan, which works well with Through the Breach. There's also Thassa, which makes sure that we get to our combo. There's also Abbot of Carol Keep, which we already have a Sensei's Divining Top, and Abbot of Carol Keep just make sure that we hit a land or something good off it. I think I'm going to take this Abbot of Carol Keep. Thassa would be an interesting pick, but I think Abbot... Also, Abbot is pretty good with Kiki Jiki. It's like, a continual, draw a card. And also it can be searched out with Imperial Recruiter. One card that cannot be searched out with an Imperial Recruiter is an Ulamog, which we are going to be taking this, because we do have a Through the Breach. Yeah, Ulamog stance. Bam, look at that. The big guy. Other cards in here that are interesting are like Stoke the Flames, maybe Master Waves, possibly Brainstorm with the Abbot. Also, we have a fetch land, but we're going to take this Ulamog here. All right. There's a Mole Drifter here and a Mana Leak. Also Spike Shot Elder and Tectonic Edge and other stuff. But, Collected Company? I like Collected Company. It's either Mole Drifter or Mana Leak. Mole Drifter works well with Kiki Jiki. Mana Leak is just such good disruption, though. I think I have to take Mole Drifter here, though. I mean, Mole Drifter is just such value. Just all the value. All the value right inside one compact little elemental fish. Now we have the choice of Sarkhan, Dismiss, Mox Diamond. Not this. I think that we take Mox Diamond here. We already have a lot of card draw. So mitigating this land loss is not that bad. And we do have a lot of like triple red, double blue, double blue, double blue, blue and red. So I think picking up something like Mox Diamond is kind of a necessary evil at this point. What we're looking for the rest of this pack is probably another mana fixer, either Shivan Reef, or what would be ideal is a Volcanic Island. But like Shivan Reef is okay. Temple of Epiphany would be great. Also, maybe even something like a Chromatic Lantern would be cool. Or just none of those. There is a Magma Jet and a Merfolk Looter, which if we just have enough like card selection, uh, then I don't believe our mana issues will be, that much of an issue. We don't have anything to delve, and there's not a whole lot that we're doing with our graveyard, so I don't think that it's Merfolk Leader. I think that it's Magma Jet because it also works very well with Abbott. I think it's Magma Jet. Let's see. Prophetic Flame Speaker with all of this Abbott setup is also pretty cool. Yeah, we'll take Magma Jet. It's also just like, kind of a small removal spell. We can just point 2 damage at our opponent's faces, maybe kill a Planeswalker with it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Well, we can really start now talking about mana issues, since now we're going to have a triple red and a triple blue card. I'm going to take this Cryptic Command, and, just, like, screw it, man. We're going to just, we'll just have a red-blue deck with just, it's just going to be really hard to cast things. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. We have a Deceiver Exarch. We're fine. Why did it have to be in the same pack? Why did it have to be in the same pack? I'd really like the Sulphur Falls, but I don't think that we can pass up a Deceiver Exarch. I think that's exactly what we want. Well, we actually, hold on. We have Imperial Recruiter, which goes and gets Pestermite. We also have Kikijiki. We have Zealous Conscripts. Do we need this Deceiver Exarch? I mean, we actually need the Sulphur Falls. I think we actually just need the Sulphur Falls more. That's a hard pick to pass up, but we already have multiple pieces of the combo. I think that piece is just redundant. I think that it's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. Here, I think the choice is Forked Bolt. Grim Lavamancer is okay. And it might actually be the pick here. It might be Show and Tell, because we do have the Ulamog. We can also Show and Tell Kikijiki into play. Let's actually take Show and Tell. I don't know if Show and Tell is going to make our main deck, but it's certainly going to make a deck. Now we'll take Greater Gargadon. Or do we take Rift Bolt? We can Through the Breach Ulamog, and then hit with Ulamog, and then sacrifice Ulamog to the Greater Gargadon. We can... Yeah, I'll take the Gargadon. No deck is complete without a Gargadon. So we have double blue, 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 blue. This is technically a blue. Blue here. So Master Waves could be okay. Or is it just Stoke the Flames? I think Master Waves is going to be the pick here. Sometimes, like a red deck just can't beat a Master Waves. They just can't. I'm going to take this Collected Company. I don't want anyone else to have it. Such a good card. Ooh, Sarkon? Yeah, we'll play Sarkon. And Prophetic Flame Speaker. I don't think we're going to play Prophetic Flame Speaker. What else? What's our last pick? Quasali Pride Mage. All right, all right. Well, this looks like a pretty sweet deck. It's 26 cards. We have to cut a few cards. And I'm already seeing a few that we could cut. Yeah, I think we got there. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm cutting the Perforos, because Perforos, like, we don't need to do that. Chandra is not where we're gonna be at. I mean, we do have some burn, but that's not what we want. And Sarkon, well, Sarkon can live in the sideboard for now. And if he needs to come in, he can come in. If, he's cool just chilling in the sideboard, then, he can do that. I'm not going to run Show and Tell. I'm perfectly fine only having one outlet for the Ulamog. Am I actually perfectly fine only having one outlet for the Ulamog? What could we take out to put in Show and Tell? Revoker? Actually, you know what? I think I like doing that. Then that just gives us another access point to Ulamog. All right, I'm in. So, as I was saying, Sarkon, Chandra, Perforos are all coming out. and Phyrexian Revoker, I guess. Gargadon can stay on the board. And then we do have some good sideboard cards to work with here. Goblin Guide. We can actually just kind of like revert to sort of like a like faster style burn deck if we really wanted to. Focusing on creatures and take out things like Ulamog, Through the Breach, Show and Tell. Some of these like larger cards, maybe even Duplicant, and kind of revert to this more aggro deck. 7 islands, 7 mountains. We have our lands here. I'm super happy to have picked up that Sulphur Falls. What with Cryptic Command and Kiki Jiki being in the same deck. All right, team, let's do it. Round 1 coming up.